Hello, Steve White, Trekboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I missed the big Picard Season 3 final trailer. It came out on Sunday. I was expecting it next Sunday, so I wasn't paying any attention, and I've been spending all my time between Etheria and Eternia, and I've just been busy. And YouTube didn't prompt me. I had no idea. I just saw it today, and I'm like, oh, damn, everyone else would have seen it and reviewed it, and I'm like a day late. Okay, whatever. Okay, so it's 2 minutes and 47 seconds, which is quite a decent length for a trailer. My general audience, kind of got sucked into it and got some goosebumps and kind of enjoyed it, just because it looks like it's got some action, looks like it's got some visuals that kind of resemble Star Trek, but the sort of late era Deep Space Nine Nemesis dark trying to be something else sort of visuals. And that's basically the problem here. As a Star Trek fan looking at this, there's nothing Star Trek about this really. I mean, yes, we've got the ships and we've got, the characters and everything, and that's nice, but where's the exploration? Where's the adventure? Where's learning anything about ourselves or the universe or other aliens? All it is just villain wanting revenge, dark, gritty. I mean, they're so confused they even are using another series catchphrase, trust no one. That was from the X-Files from the 90s. Remember dark, gritty, miserable 90s? That's not what Star Trek was. Star Trek was optimistic 60s and 80s. That's what Star Trek was. And yeah, so I'm just watching it. I'm like, part of me is like, oh, starship crashing into another starship. Oh, people should, I'm getting into that part of it. And then I'm looking at it and going, but that's not Star Trek. This is just not Star Trek. These people don't know what Star Trek is. All they know how to do is blow things up, and it's just symptomatic of American culture. It's just, you can't have any sort of drama or adventure without death and explosions and revenge and hate and just people torturing and murdering each other. It's just all they seem to be able to do, and that's not Star Trek. That's not the universe of the 25th, the Earth of the 25th century. That's not the universe that Gene Roddenberry created. That's today, and it's like they just don't get it. And I'm looking at this and going, it's just not. I'm losing whatever optimism I had when I first heard Rob Meyer Burnett talking about the show, because I know he thinks Deep Space Nine is like the best Star Trek, and that was all dark, gritty war trek, and not, trying desperately not to be Star Trek, not be optimistic, not be utopian, to sort of undermine that with Section 31, and it just seems like more of the dark, gritty, pessimistic crap we've been getting for the last 20 years. Star Trek hasn't been Star Trek for about 20 years, and it's really sad. There are a few little moments, but for the most part it's been just slowly declining, and regressing back to present day. Okay, the actual trailer, what do we see? Well, we have the theme music, and we have Picard and Riker coming on to the ship. They go into the bridge, and of course it's so dark, it looks like they're walking, into an airlock into space. And we even hear references to there's a darkness, an all-consuming darkness that's growing. And I think that's Deanna, and they show shots of Picard's son or whatever who's on the ship. He's some sort of terrorist. He's got some sort of grenade in his hand at one point. He's got over-the-top, overly stylized hair, I guess, to differentiate himself from his bald father. Maybe subconscious, I don't know. We hear Worf saying there's an attack coming, probably on Starfleet, and we see a fleet of ships. Now, the visuals look amazing. The shots look amazing. We see the Titan sort of moving out of the way to show, the Star Trek 3 style bridge, and Geordi, I think, is in command of it, and Picard's like, Geordi, and he's like, we see Beverly getting shot at and shooting and being in stasis or something, and she's the one saying trust no one and being rescued. So there's some nice moments, like we see Picard, they're all on the observation deck, observation lounge, and he's talking to them saying, I need you, all of you. And then it goes into Star Wars, where you hear Deanna doing some sort of from the grave, sort of otherworldly voiceover, we're with you always. And then we see Picard saying engage, sitting in the captain's chair. I'm like, So they're trying to be Star Wars, they're trying to be gritty and X-Files, dark, nihilistic and mysterious, and it's just like, it's just so many levels of not Star Trek. And I'm like, why can't we just have Star Trek? Why can't we have a brightly lit ship, an alien adventure, learning something to think about? Like, there's nothing to think about here. It's like, oh, villain wants revenge, villain tries to kill them, they pretty much will survive, kill villain, most of them will live. We watch it happen, and that's it. Like, why would I want to watch this again? Star Trek, I keep thinking that term, Star Trek made me wonder. It's like, you wanted to learn, you wanted to see more, you wanted to live in that universe. Why do I want to see the ship get shot up and crashed and blow up again? Like, what do I learn from that? What character development is there in that? What is, it's just, I'm looking at this trailer and seeing nothing that says Star Trek, nothing that makes me want to explore or learn anything about these characters or their adventure or anything about. We've just got this Amanda Plummer villain who has henchmen who literally have like bone masks like the Predator and stuff like that, and it's like they're running around the dark shooting people and shoving people into force fields, and it's just like we see Raffi hitting up with some sort of drug that gets injected into the eye or something. I mean, because she's still an addict, because apparently it's the 20th century and people are addicted to drugs. And somehow, with all the 7 characters from the original and Next Generation that we're trying to say goodbye to, we've got time for Raffi's drug addicted rubbish, and she's mourning some child again. You see her sort of reaching out to an image of a child, and I'm like, is she looking at her childhood and trying to work out why she's messed up, or has she lost another child that she's now trying to find because she was such a deadbeat mother? I mean, why are we spending any time on this character? No one cares. This is supposed to be about the Next Generation. So I have nothing good from this aside from the visuals. I mean, and that's just superficial stuff that I used to enjoy before I actually really got Star Trek on a deeper level. I just don't have anything good to say about it. And I'm like, no, I believed Robert Myburnett and I wanted to think this was good Star Trek. It's just going to be Deep Space Nine level war and cynicism and, jokes like at the end, like Riker and Picard are talking. They're like, you're not enjoying this, are you? Of course not. While they're in some battle or something. And you also see that a bit where you see the captain of the Titan, who's a bit goofy. And he's like, oh, this inspection's going to be boring. No one's going to be shooting anything up. Nothing's going to be exploding. No ship's going to be crashing into anything. And Picard's like, well, those were the days. And I'm like, it's too 4-4 breaking. It's too meta. It's like they're making fun of the old Star Trek and making really clear this is not that. We're doing something else, and this is all dark and realistic and gritty, because that's what reality is. I'm like, this show is supposed to be fantasy. It's supposed to give us a universe that we don't live in, that we can aspire to and want to escape to and live in and want to create and recreate, and that's what kept fandom alive, and that's what Star Trek fans loved about Star Trek. I don't want to be in this dark world where we're just constantly being chased by villains wanting revenge, and that's all we do is outrun villains and kill them. I mean, I'm talking, and the more I talk, I realise I have nothing good to say about this, and I'm still going to watch it just in case somehow they've just edited 10 hours of a series to look like this in a trailer because they think that's what the general audience wants, and there's actually more to it, which is what I've been told and promised. But I'm not, I have no faith in that at the moment. So yeah, this is supposed to be a 5-minute simple video, not a negative rant and just a complete loss of confidence, revealing itself. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I really hope there's more to it than this. We saw Moriarty, and all he did was make fun of them, saying, what a bunch of pathetic old warriors. And we saw Lore just basically saying, this is life, and Geordie saying, it's life and death. It's always life and death. Like, it's nothing about this trailer is really working for me, and I really, really, really hope there's more to it than this because we know trailers can be deceptive. We know they edit things to look how they, expect the audience or what they think is going to sell. And maybe they got a good show and they tried to make it into something else because that's what they think people want to see. But at least it's only, 2 weeks away now? A bit more than 2 weeks away, so it will be revealed soon and I can stop thinking about it and worrying about it, because within one episode we'll know whether or not we're getting anything more than what we're seeing in the trailer. But I'm going to go and watch some other people's videos about the trailer because I wanted to give my opinion first, so I'm just not repeating what other people said or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to go. Bye.